Black Sky.
Greetings. My name is Dmytro Antoniuk. I am part of Black Sky team, and this is our weekly digest of our materials and articles. And this time I am doing it from Odessa, from the Black Sea shore. Okay, I am glad to announce to you that we have our first big investigation piece, which is called Yakutugol, how the company found itself on the brink of bankruptcy and who is behind it. This is our editorial investigation. This piece shows the financial collapse of Yakutugol, a key coal enterprise in Russia's Sakha, Yakutia, in Siberia, actually. And the main employer of Yakutugol is the main employer in Nerungri, arguing that its near bankruptcy is not a result of normal market difficulties, but of long-term financial extraction within the corporate structure of Mechel Group, controlled by oligarch Igor Zuzin. Despite being profitable in certain years, the company is described as being systematically weakened through debt accumulation and intra-group financial transfers. We will hear more about Igor Zuzin in the nearest future in our articles. A central point of the investigation is that Yakutugol's revenues were repeatedly redirected into to other parts of the holding and offshore-linked subsidiaries, including structures in Cyprus and Switzerland. These transfers, combined with large dividend payouts, left the company underfunded and unable to invest properly in modernization or safety. So people literally have not much in Sakha, although they could have earned a lot in Yakutugol. One of the key examples is year 2021, when tens of billions of rubles were reportedly redistributed through a chain involving Mechel mining, Cypriot subsidiaries, and Swiss financial intermediaries, effectively returning liquidity to the holding while weakening the operating company, Yakutugol. This investigation highlights that Yakutugol now carries a disproportionate share of Mechel's total debt, around 80%, while the holding continues to receive state-backed support from major banks due to its systemic importance. This creates a situation where losses are effectively shifted onto the enterprise and indirectly the region. The investigation also highlights the concentration of control within the Zuzin family, which is presented as fully managing Mechel's strategic and financial decisions with relatives in key positions. Despite the company's heavy debts and reliance on state support, the article contrasts this with the family's continued accumulation of private wealth, including expensive real estate in Moscow. But not only that, Zuzin family mainly lives abroad, somewhere in Switzerland, as do most of Russians politicians, like daughters of Putin, for example, or daughters of Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, Lavrov. And overall, Yakutugol is facing technical bankruptcy, outdated equipment, environmental problems, and rising accident risks. The investigation concludes that the company's crisis reflects a broader model in which production assets are drained financially while state support prevents the holding from collapsing. Um, so Yakutugol is one of the main companies uh, mining the coal in Siberia. And because of Zuzin, and we show it in our investigation, you could read it. Uh, Zuzin family just drains this big enterprise, which could have been very effective for the people who work there and for their families. And again, it creates very big environmental problems because of outdated equipment on Yakutugol, and Zuzin does absolutely nothing to renew it. Again, I repeat that this is our first big investigation piece. So please, you are welcome to read it. The next one is the Party of Hungarians in Ukraine could serve as a bridge for fundamental reset of Ukrainian-Hungarian relations. But for now, there are some questions. This is a piece by Vasyl Ilnytskyi. Uh, this article examines the future of the Party of Hungarians of Ukraine after the defeat of Viktor Orban and his Fidesz party in Hungary's parliamentary elections. For years, the Party of Hungarians and its parent organization, the Society of Hungarian Culture of Transcarpathia, closely cooperated with Budapest and helped mobilize votes for Orban among ethnic Hungarians in Ukraine. A major part of this policy was the large scale distribution of Hungarian passports to Ukrainian citizens in Transcarpathia, which strengthened Budapest's influence but also created tensions with Ukrainian authorities. This article also criticizes the organization for never condemning a Russian aggression or Orban's blocking of Ukraine's EU path. Despite political change in Hungary, the party recently re-elected Laszlo Brenzovic, a longtime ally of Orban, who, who has lived in Budapest for 6 years as its leader. He does not live in Transcarpathia in Ukraine. At the same time, Vasyl Ilnytskyi says that a younger generation of Hungarian community leaders has emerged in Transcarpathia. They could help rebuild Ukrainian-Hungarian relations on a more pragmatic and pro-European basis if the party is willing to renew itself. So this was about Hungarians living in Transcarpathia, which is in the far west of Ukraine. And the next article will be about Bulgaria. It's written by Artur, and it's called "Elections in Bulgaria: Will Radev become the new Orban for Ukraine?" In this piece, Artur analyzes the victory of Rumen Radev and his party Progressive Bulgaria in April 2026 parliamentary elections in Bulgaria. With 44.59% of the vote and 131 seats, Radev secured a rare single-party government after years of political instability. Um, this piece argues that his victory was driven less by geopolitics than by public frustration with corruption, weak governments, inflation, and social fatigue, just like in Hungary. For many voters, Radev appeared as a pragmatic figure promising stability rather than pro Russian alternative. For Ukraine, the main concern is not that Bulgaria will suddenly follow the path of Viktor Orban. Jacques stresses that Radev does not have a constitutional majority, and Bulgaria remains deeply dependent on EU funding and linked to European defense production, including arms supplies connected to Ukraine. Still, this article warns that Radev's concentration of on Russia and the weakness of the opposition could gradually make Bulgaria a more ambiguous player inside the EU and NATO, not through open obstruction, but through slower decisions and softer pressure on European unity. So we and Artur Jacques investigates how the situation will evolve in recent future in Bulgaria. And the last one for today, it's about Moldova. It's by Andrus Hayavy. It's called Transnistria and Russian troops there. Will Moldova be able to resolve these issues through political means? In this article, Andrus Hayavy examines how Moldova is trying to deal with the unresolved issue of Transnistria and the presence of Russian troops there. I should remind you that this trouble with Transnistria was created in times of Soviet Union, and shortly after the collapse of Soviet Union, there was almost a civil war with casualties, but still, from times of Soviet Union, from the beginning of 1990s, Russian troops are presented are present in Transnistria. So going back to this article, it's the immediate trigger was Moldova's decision to declare the leadership of the Russian military group in Transnistria persona non grata. That happened just recently. According to Chisinau, these troops are stationed illegally, and Russia has failed to fulfill earlier commitments to withdraw them. This piece explains that while the Russian contingent itself is relatively small, Transnistria's local armed forces remain better equipped than the Moldovan army. Still, Moldovan authorities are not seeking a military confrontation. Instead, Chisinau wants to push Transnistria toward reintegration through political and economic pressure, movement, taxes, and the region's economic links with the rest of the country. This piece main conclusion is that Moldova sees the peaceful reintegration of Transnistria as essential for its future in Europe, because Russia is too weak now to to invade Moldova military, because Russia should have done it, will be obliged to do it via Ukraine, and this time, in this current time, it's practically impossible. So you are entitled and welcome to read all these pieces that I shortly told you about in this digest. My name is Dmytro Antoniuk. As you can see, I have done it today from Odessa, from beautiful city on the Black Sea shore, which unfortunately still suffers from the war of Putin's Russia. Stay tuned and bye bye.